We can go on to that. Future goals.
I don't know what my future.
Do I even know what I'm doing tomorrow? No, I think I think it's just important to be open-minded. Like, I think I came into medical school thinking I had to be a doctor, but you don't. Like, in terms of like not being a doctor, but there's so many options for you. You can go into like academia, be like a clinical academic fellow, be teaching medical students. You could be like a doctor, be a surgeon. You could do so many like different things essentially with your degree, which I think is something to just be quite open-minded about, especially where so during 4th year and 5th year, you rotate between loads of different specialties. Oh my God, like you'll be doing psychiatry 1 week, next week you're doing pediatrics, next week you're doing ophthalmology, the week after that you're doing like obstetrics, so dealing with like pregnant women. So you're exposed to so many things, and there'll be so many, I've had so many moments where I'm like, wow, I want to do this specialty. I do another specialty, I'm like, wow, like I want to do this specialty, but you can't do it all. So I think as of right now, I'm very open-minded. I was leaning towards the GP route a little bit, and like half of medical school graduates end up becoming GPs actually. But leaning to that just for this like the shortest training time, and as well as that, I think it's quite nice being like the first person that someone sees and being able to help them in that sense and send them off where they need to go. Especially because like I haven't had the greatest GP, so I'm like I wanna give back in a sense. But yeah, open-minded. I think I could be swayed by a specialty depending on like what it's like, but yeah, I don't know about you.
I don't know what I want to do, to be honest. I think you said something about how like there's a lot of pressure as well to sort of, you see all of these, you're exposed to all of these different specialties, and it does feel a bit, you do feel under pressure sometimes to have it figured out. But I think I've realized that medicine is great. I love medicine. It's not my life. It's not seeing the doctors well into their 30s and their 40s, unable to like start families, not being paid well enough for the work that they're doing. I think I love medicine, but it's not my life. So I want to choose something that gives me a good work-life balance. And I think that is really difficult to do in terms of a lot of the specialty programs, because you have to give a lot of your life to it.
There must be like some like specialty programs where you'd get sort of normal working hours and ophthalmology.
I think ophthalmology,
as in, until you're a consultant, a lot of it is like you will be doing night shifts, you will be doing shift works, you will be working weekends. It's not like
there's a bit of leeway, right. Just like a tiny bit of leeway.
If you want to be in the hospital, you have to do all of that, and it's tough.
Yeah, so I think depending on the program that you go into, which isn't like, again, like if you're not even considering applying to medicine, don't worry about this. Like, don't worry about this yet. But you can do like less than full-time training. So I think you work like 1 day less a week, and there's some people where like they might have nights protected because maybe they've got children. There's certain things that you don't realize until you get into it, like how flexible the career kind of can be. It's not the most flexible career at all. I mean, you're not going to be working from home.
No.
So that's like something to consider. Like you can't be doing like surgeries in your living room. But yeah, I think there's a lot more opportunities than we know about. But again, like only until you get into the profession, then you'll see.
I'm not that well versed in the training programs at all, to be honest. I think that's not really something you worry about until you're a bit closer to the time. For now, it's just like getting through it.
Yeah, so I think like ophthalmology is a career, even psychiatry actually. So when I was on my psychiatry placement, met a guy who's, ST3, something like that. So he's in his 3rd year of specialty training, and I believe there's 7 years of specialty training. He was like, yep, I chose psychiatry because I know for a fact like I'm going to be home 6:30 most days. Start at 9. Like it is demanding work, but it's not the same as you being in a hospital work, whereas that could easily be 12 hours, night shifts, you haven't eaten, you haven't had like a proper break, haven't even gone to the toilet. That would be the case for a lot of doctors.
Yeah, not saying that GPs obviously don't have a really hard and busy life, they do, but I just had my GP placement, and one of the doctors I was placed with was an orthopedic surgeon and decided to give it up and become a GP because it just wasn't working with his family life. He needed, was home late always, really difficult to sort of balance everything. So depends what you value.
Yeah, I think it's just always like, as you said, like putting yourself first. I think it's just the most important thing, because with any job, like you can be replaced, which I think is a sad reality.
Yeah.
So yes, I think putting yourself first, making sure you don't burn out, which we even have to try and take care of ourselves during uni.
Because it's so long.
Yeah, burnout is a very real thing. So yeah, so I think that's just the main thing. Like, do something that you love. Obviously, that will help you. But again, like, make sure you're taking adequate breaks when you can.
I think the emphasis really is, though, like, make sure you've decided properly whether this is something that you want to do. Because I even know people now that like go into their 3rd, 4th year and realize it's not for them, and that's not a great position that you want to be in. So before you start applying or before you start your medical school journey, do some experience, speak to people, ask doctors, what's the worst part of your job? What do you not like? Try to think about whether you can handle that, because it's a very long time and you change a lot, because you start when you're like 18 and I'm now 23. I'm not the same person I was when I was a teenager. So different things mean different things. Like your priorities change and shift.
Yeah, I think, do you remember when you came into Loughton a few weeks ago after your placement, you said you've got a few friends that you said they've decided to go down a different route?
Yeah, so I think a lot of them have realised that even if they don't go into practicing medicine, they're still quite employable with a medical degree.
100%.
And a lot of people are going into med tech. So there's a big rise of that at the moment.
Like startup stuff, or
Yeah.
things like starting their own thing, or joining other startups.
Or joining other startups
Yeah.
as well, yeah.
I have a friend actually who he's doing his computer science masters this year. So he took a break from medicine, did his computer science masters, and he's joining us again for like final year. But he had like a startup. I think it failed, but like that's the whole beauty of it. Like you're learning from all of these experiences. And for him, I think he is quite interested in like the medical side of like technology, because again, that is an emerging domain right now. But even with that, you think that the NHS has all of this like bureaucracy. He goes, the same thing you'll find like in medical technology. Like there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of things going on. So I think it's a case of the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I think just kind of know what you're doing and why you're doing it, like renewing your intentions and stuff like that. And I think another important thing I think is just like this whole thing about like sunken cost. I feel like people think, oh, you've done 6 years of a degree, you have to be a doctor now, like by the end of it, which isn't the truth. There's so many things that I've learned from this degree that I can apply in so many different aspects, like so many ways. So don't ever feel like you've wasted time. Like everything that you've done has brought you to the moment like that you're here right now.
Wow, that was beautiful.
That was really profound, right? But yeah, that's what I believe. There's no wasting time.
That's true. It's true for anything.
Yeah, and I guess if you're worried about like the length of time, you're gonna be 24, in 5 years' time anyway. So would you want to be 24 and be a doctor, or do you want to?
And like you're still young, like 24 is so young. Like it's literally like you think it's so old, and then you become 24, and you realise, wow, like I'm still in my youth.
No comment.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Education Lounge podcast. To watch another clip, click up here or here. To watch the full episode, click somewhere down here. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps the algorithm.
The Education Lounge podcast.